Alejandro. Hey guys. Yeah, hi, I'm Sip, and today I'm going to be talking about why privacy should be fun and seamless. Well, the reality is that this is definitely not the way people think about privacy usually. But if we want adoption, if we want to have people that actually use private apps, then we need to make it very seamless. We need to make it very easy for those people to get into private apps. But also, how do we make it normal? How do we not make it something like scary figure, like the black hoodie and so on? This is what people think about when they think about privacy. And we need to change that. Otherwise, no one will adopt privacy-focused apps. The reality is that privacy has been under attack for years now, but recently it has been even worse. And this is not just on like Western societies, it's really all over the world. I just literally picked 3 random notices from the last few months. And you can see it's happening in Europe, in the UK, in the US, in India. So it's now becoming a matter of human rights. It's not becoming of like, okay, do we want as a society, as a kind of the human species to have privacy for all? But then people will like, but what do I have to hide? You know, like I'm a nice citizen, I pay my taxes, I don't do crazy shit on the internet, so I should be okay. Well, actually, when you look at it, most of the current social norms are based on privacy. The reason why governments, hospitals, any type of big institution has power is because they keep stuff private. If any company that has data on you was going to just make it public to everyone, if the hospital was going to take your patient's record and put them online, you will probably not use them, and the society would be a full chaos. Like if you knew who people are voting for, probably it will not be good for anyone. So the reality is that privacy underwrites trust at scale, meaning like the only way you can trust institutions and the only way you can trust anything is if you believe that they will keep your stuff private. So, as you can understand, like we talk about institutions and so on, so it's a very serious topic, of course, but it needs to be de-traumatized. It needs to be something that is actually a topic that we have constantly, and because it's important for us, it's actually a human right. This is something I actually believe. Not everyone believes that, but happy to talk about that. It should be normalized. And I would go a bit further, it actually should be encouraged. And today what I want to go through a bit is like, how do we encourage that and why? So that's kind of my pitch, right? It should be fun, it should be seamless, and it should be rewarding. Quick word about who we are. I work at Status Network. We are an L2 that is coming from the Status ecosystem. Status has been around since 2017, huge ICO back then, and then a lot of developments on privacy, on apps, on messaging, on wallets. And we have a sister company that is called Logos that is basically building an entire privacy-focused ecosystem with messaging, with storage, and finally with also a blockchain. And what we've been building for the past few years is the Status Private Stack. So what is the Status Private Stack? It's basically you have all the way through what you need to be private and to interact privately on chain and with your friends. First step is Keycard. It's an open source wallet. You can literally do it at home if you want. It's completely open source. You can verify the code. You can verify everything. And you have stealth cards that come with it. So it means that no one can know that this is a crypto wallet. It's not a ledger. It's literally you can have like a gym membership card, and that's enough. That will work. Then we have Status. Status is a privacy-focused super app. So it allows you to chat with your friends, create communities, all completely private. All the messages are peer-to-peer encrypted. And we are super careful about all the data that we basically don't take and don't share with everyone. Then we have a chain at the lower level, Status Network. It's a gas SL2 with composable privacy layer and share native yield. I will go into that a bit afterwards. And then finally, we have a client meaning like an Ethereum client. It's called Nimbus, super lightweight, super efficient. It also focused on privacy. The goal is being able to run an Ethereum client on your phone. So ultimately, you will not have to talk with RPCs. You will not have to talk with kind of public infrastructure. You can just literally talk to the chain directly and verify what's happening. So the full stack privacy is really the end game here. And so like just quick screenshot about status, just so that you have an idea. So you have a wallet on one side, and you have like chat and communities on the other side. Again, all super private, super secure. That has been the main focus of the company for the past, 8 years now. But the reality is that privacy UX still sucks, and that's a reality. I don't know if you've, okay, who here have tried privacy-focused apps? Oh, that's not too bad, actually. All right, what do you think about the UX? Is it good? Did you enjoy it? No? Okay, okay. It's basically like super dark UI, and you have to jump through like 10 different hoops to just shield something. Of course, it's a separate app, it's a separate wallet, it's separate accounts. You have shielding fees, probably. I'm talking about, for example, Railgun. It's non-composable with DeFi, meaning you basically deposit ETH or stablecoin, and then you can't do anything with it. It just stays there. And you don't have a yield that comes with it. And so that's actually a huge problem. I've looked at the numbers, right? How many ETH is shielded into the entire network? And it's actually ridiculously low. So if you look here, the largest holder of shielded ETH is still Tornado Cash, even if it's basically not really used anymore. And the second one is Railgun, that I was just talking about. And look at it, it's $52 million. It's literally nothing compared to the, 300 billion that Ethereum is, a bit less probably right now. But so it's, basically we don't have shielded ETH right now. And why? The main reason is the lack of yield. People don't feel like just putting their ETH away and it does nothing. So they want to be able to earn yield on it, and they want to be able to make it composable with other stuff. So that's why we think it's the key. And so I'm going to talk about what we're building now, so that we have a better idea of like where we're going. So what is gasless? What is Status Network? It's a gasless, private, and rewarding L2. What does that mean? It means that we basically abstracted completely the gas, and now it's just based on reputation. So the more you use the chain, the more you have assets on chain, then the higher your reputation, and the more gasless transactions you can do. It's also private. You have an opt-in composable privacy layer. So basically, as a user, you can choose to interact with any app in a private manner or in a public manner. You choose. You have the choice. And finally, it's rewarding. We have a sustainable shared native yield, meaning that the chain makes, okay, I'm not going to go like super deep into the economic model because we don't have time, but basically, at a high level, here's the chain revenue. So we get bridged yield from the L1, so from ETH and from stablecoin. We get native app fees, so native DEX, native CDP stablecoin, native lending market, and so on. And they all fund a big native yield pool, and that native yield pool gets then allocated by the reputation holder, so by anyone that actually uses the chain. I'm not talking about the Kaito yappers, right? I'm talking about people that are actually using the chain and that are investing into the chain. They are able to vote on where to allocate the funds. And basically, a small portion of the fund go to fund the L2 operation, which allows us to give free transactions to everyone. And the rest, it all goes to a yield boost for all the native apps. And so this is where the kind of the yield in the privacy comes from. The idea is that we have a privacy layer here that is able to attract yield. And that changes a lot the dynamics of how you think about privacy. Because now, instead of seeing privacy as, I just put some ETH away or stablecoin away, and I just don't touch them for a few months or years, then here you can actually actively use it. You can use it in DeFi, you can lend it, you can borrow it, you can swap it, and you can earn yield on it. And as you can see, the L2 is a public network. The accounts are just like regular accounts. There is nothing fancy about them. Just an EOA, it's a basic, you can use MetaMask, you can use literally anything. And then you have the choice between using the apps in a public manner or through the privacy pool. And entering, so depositing and withdrawing the privacy pool and interacting from the privacy pool to the apps all of that can also be compliance, meaning we can have checks and balances, making sure that we are not accepting money from North Korea or whatever. This is also a compliance system. And so it's rewarding. So here, that's the first time I'm actually talking about that in public. We are working on a new type of assets, which is Status Network ETH and Status Network USD. They are basically assets that are going to be private by default, and that are going to be created by concentrated liquidity positions. And it's going to earn boosted yield from both the swap fees and also from the native yield, and from if the assets in the pool are yielding as well, it's kind of increase the yield. And it's private by default, meaning that now instead of thinking, oh, I have some ETH, I need to shield it, then I need to probably find something to do with it. Here it's like in one click, it's like zap in, zap out, you are able to have a private asset that is earning yield. What are the benefits? You have increased on-chain liquidity, you have superior organic yield, you have increased privacy, and that's actually super important. Why do you have increased privacy? Is because the pool of assets, as it gets larger, the anonymity set gets larger. So by giving yield to private assets, we're actually boosting and increasing the security and the privacy of those assets. When? So Keycard, as I mentioned at the beginning, the hardware wallets, you can already pre-order them. And I think it's in Q1 as they're going to be shipping. The Status app, if you haven't downloaded it already, we have a new version that is unified between all the different devices. So it's way better than in the past. And then finally, Status L2, we just launched our hub, so you can go hub.status.network, and mainnet is coming in Q1. If you want to start pre-depositing to earn reputation, we open the pre-deposit next week. Our goal is basically to have privacy for everyone, not just for the hackers, not for the people who are super crypto native and so on. Everyone should have access to it. So we want to put private apps in the hands of everyone. And so if you're a developer, if you're just a regular user, join us to build on Status. Our goal is to create an open source, privacy-focused, unified ecosystem to communicate, browse, trade, and earn together. And that's it. Thank you. I don't know if I have time for questions, though.